Making others happy. Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Mother Teresa. A toddler usually laughs 300 times a day, an adult 15 times. A toddler is happy to see his or her parents, a toy or food. Little things give joy to a toddler. As we grow older, little things stop carrying as much meaning, and the list of things that bring joy shrinks. What is most worrying is that these days even children laugh less than they used to a few decades ago. There is so much stress, anger, frustration, and even hatred that joy has taken a back seat. As parents, we need to make our children happy. However, as we all know, that is easier said than done. If we ask anyone what is on their wish list, happiness will feature at the top along with money, good health, love, peace of mind, fame, and longevity. But the question is, focus is, how many of us are happy? In our quest for happiness, we read, discuss, and experiment. We try to change others, our circumstances, jobs, even professions, cities, countries, spouses, and friends. We keep trying to make ourselves happy by keeping ourselves at the center of this quest. Many of those who are happier have tried another approach. Make others happy and you will find happiness. One person who excelled at this approach was Walt Disney. Just after turning 16, Devang had returned from a school trip to Disney World and could not stop talking about his trip. He had found his paradise. In keeping with my strategy to instill values by examples rather than lengthy sermons, it seemed natural to talk about the creator of the paradise, Walt Disney. Every year, more than 100 million people walk into a Disney property with a smile in anticipation of a happy day. They usually have a wonderful time enjoying the rides and incredible shows. They also get to spend quality time with their family and friends. All these people leave with fond memories and a bigger smile. Millions more smile and laugh when they watch Disney cartoons and films. Perhaps no single man's idea have made so many people happy over so many generations. Disney enjoyed drawing from a very young age. His neighbor once asked him to draw a picture of his horse. While the drawing was not great, he received encouragement, inspiring him to draw more energetically. When he was 10, he fell in love with trains. His uncle Michael was an engineer, and Disney would often put his ears to the tracks in the anticipation of a train, trying to spot his uncle conducting it. In high school, he became the cartoonist for the school newspaper and also developed an interest in photography. He attended school during the day and the Academy of Fine Arts in Chicago at night. When he was turned down by the Army and Navy during World War II as he was underage, he got a job as a Red Cross ambulance driver. The ambulance he drove in France stood out for its artwork because he had covered it with original sketches. On his return from France, he got a job as a newspaper artist. He started experimenting with animation and even acquired a studio and called it Laughogram. The studio did not do well, and he, along with his brother Roy, decided to move to California. The brothers hoped that their cartoons would have better luck in the sunny state. Symbolically, it was on the train that Disney came up with the idea of creating a character based on a mouse. Disney had always been interested in mice, even keeping them in a cage in his studio to keenly observe them. He called his character Mortimer Mouse, and his wife Lillian suggested the name Mickey. While the silent films featuring Mickey were not successful, the first sound film, wherein Disney lent his voice for Mickey, was a hit. Soon new friends like Donald Duck, Goofy, and Pluto were born. Disney also took the brave step of creating a full-length animated film called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This film's success established the animation film industry. Pinocchio, Bambi, Cinderella, and a host of other films followed. What made all Disney productions distinct was that they were created to spread joy. When he became a father, Disney would take his daughters, Dinah and Sharon, to a merry-go-round in a park. He would wait patiently till the girls were ready to go home. Dinah Disney, in an interview with the San Francisco Chronicle, said, as he stood there, he kept thinking there should be more for parents and children to do together, and the idea for Disneyland was born. Daily Mail Reporter, 2013. The idea was to create a place where people would have fun, lots of fun. Disney himself drew sketches of his ideas for an amusement park. As the plans were being developed, he had said, I just want it to look like nothing else in the world, and it should be surrounded by a train. It's in the Wikipedia article on Walt Disney. In 1955, thousands of people saw Disney's dream come true into reality when Disneyland was inaugurated in Anaheim, California. In his dedication speech, he said, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. Wikipedia, Walt Disney. As Disneyland became incredibly successful, Disney felt the desire to spread the joy beyond the West Coast. He decided to establish Disney World in Orlando that would include the Magic Kingdom and the experimental prototype city or community of tomorrow, Epcot. Walt Disney's work inspired the establishment of amusement parks across the globe, indirectly bringing happiness to countless people on the planet. So profound has been the impact of the culture of the Walt Disney Company that companies far removed from entertainment have studied and adapted their work culture. In his bestseller, If Disney Ran Your Hospital, Fred Lee declares that if hospitals would learn from Disney, hospital employees would be driven in their understanding by imagination, imagining what a patient and the patient's family are thinking and experiencing. If hospitals embraced the Disney philosophy, they could become happier places. And if hospitals, where there is so much pain and suffering, can become happier places, one can only imagine that other workplaces would also become places where joy is shared. By following the Disney culture, Lee 2004, as parents and adults, we need to ask our children a simple question. What makes you happy? Surprisingly, very few parents I know actually ask their children this question. We tend to assume that a particular activity will do the job. More often than not, when I ask parents what makes their child happy, they have no answer. And my question usually draws a blank. Every child is different. Some children like sports, some do not. Some children like being indoors, while some like being one with nature. We need to make the effort to find out what makes our children happy. When they see us do what things make them happy, they too would feel the urge to do the things that make us happy. When they learn to find happiness by making others happy, they create a ripple effect that spreads happiness to many people. Charlie Chaplin, one of the biggest stars of the 20th century, silent film era, responsible for bringing many moments of joy and laughter to numerous people, had to go through many hardships as a child. When he was 10, his father died and his mother developed a serious illness. He spent time in an orphanage. When he was 12, he acted in a stage show. He then joined the film industry and made a mark with his distinctive style. The pain he had experienced made him focus on humor. He stated, "To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it." In a famous speech, he said, "We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery." Chaplin, 1940. Chaplin wrote in his poem, "Smile. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you will see the sun come shining through for you." Chaplin, 1954. We should remember this and always nudge ourselves and our children to smile, especially when we are feeling low. I make it a point to call all my patients on their birthdays. Shona Nath, whose 3 lovely children I look after, told me that it meant a lot to her, that I make the effort to call ever since I've tried not to default on this count. No matter which part of the world I am, I make it a point to make the phone calls. If the child is really young, I wish his and her parents. I cannot accurately describe the sheer happiness I usually sense in the voice of the other end of the phone. Every year I do my best to make hundreds of families happy, and through them, I too find my dose of joy. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Charlie Chaplin.